Hi, folks. Good evening. This is us, and we are on episode 7. And tonight, again, we have your regular show girls, show ladies. We have your regular show girls. Yeah, Sandra and Nana, and myself, Jude, the host. Tonight, we're discussing abstinence from sex in a relationship. This is a heavy one. I don't even know what that means. So I'm going to start off with, what is abstinence? Any of you bold enough to tell us what abstinence is?
Should I go for it? So I think I've spoken to people where abstinence from sex might just mean abstinence from penetrative sex. So they engage in other sexual activities, but they just avoid penetrative sex. Because, I mean, you can have oral sex, there's anal, but some people just avoid vaginal penetrative sex.
Okay.
Yes. And some people just don't do any of those things. They only kiss. And some people don't kiss either, because apparently there's this saying that they used to say, you start holding hands and you're kissing, the kissing leads to something else. So some people just absolutely cut off all forms of physical intimacy just so that they don't tempt themselves. But then I also know people who do everything else, but they don't engage in vaginal penetrative sex because I hate that they think this way, but they're preserving their virginity.
Okay, so that's one of the reasons they're preserving the virginity. Could there be other reasons why no penetration and they do all this stuff? You say anal sex is penetration too. So why no, is apart from preserving the virginity, are there any other reasons?
Why they might?
Are there any other reasons why people might just say, okay?
Yeah. I think like some people want to explore other form of, intimacy. So that's why they, partake in that. Some people, maybe their partner, they're not interested in, or they're not ready to have sex just yet. Some people maybe they want to increase their sexual pleasure outside of intercourse.
Okay.
Like for me, I think one of my reasons is because it's like sex is very uncomfortable for me, like it's painful. So I don't really enjoy it that much. So
you're talking about penetration one, the vagina one.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, like I think it's very important to first of all remember that there isn't like a right way to define abstinence. So like I think your personal decision is very unique to you. So you can choose to like practice abstinence, whenever you want, even if you've had sex before, right? So it's important to understand what it means to you. So it's like you said, it's a decision not to have sexual intercourse. However, it does mean different things to different people.
Yeah, I agree.
Sexual intercourse is quite broad these days. From just light touch, kissing, hands on the knee, all of this can be interpreted as sexual advances or sexual foreplay. So are we saying abstinence, all of that stuff are allowed apart from penetration?
No, not necessarily. I think it's from my understanding, from what Sandra was trying to say, she's saying that it's personal to every single individual. So people are defining for themselves what abstinence is. So for me, what my abstinence might be, I might decide that, okay, I'm abstaining from sex, which might mean that I'm not engaging in penetrative sex, but I'm okay with perhaps engaging in oral sex. And for other people, that's a complete no.
Yeah.
Abstinence means abstinence, whereby they're not doing any of those things. Exactly. So it's more of like I guess it's personal, isn't it? Because I did kind of read a memoir of a lady who went through, I think for over a year actually, she did not engage in sex, but at some point she was masturbating.
Yeah.
So for her, self-love was okay, and she masturbated with toys and everything else, but she was abstaining from sex.
So she penetrated herself with. She did penetrate a vagina with what did you call it? Sex toys? One of those plastic things.
Sex toys. Sex toys. Yeah.
Okay.
But
what doesn't necessarily need to be penetration. It could be like those little bullets.
The bullets, because clitoral stimulation. Yeah. You can have that.
Yeah.
And apart from you doing all of that, did she give any reason why she did it? Because Sandra just right earlier on said vagina penetration for her is painful. Did that lady give any reasons why she's doing that? She like saying,
there was. I think for her, she was saying, saying that it was just, she just went through a period whereby she felt like she was always given too much. So she just took a period out from herself where she was just focused on herself. She wasn't interested in forming any relationship with anybody, and she was just focusing on herself. It was just a healing process for her. So that's how she healed herself from her past traumas.
Okay.
I mean, I read a book by someone called, I think it's Ian Kermer, something. It's called Sex Detox. And he advocates that a period of abstinence for like 30 days, I think it's called, so abstinence for 30 days to improve relationships. And he strongly believes that by doing that, it helps boost sex life in the longer term and enables couples to shift their focus onto other form of connection. So I feel like it's healthy to
and this guy, you said his name was what? Ian
Kerman.
When was the last time you read this book? When did this book come out?
Like a few years ago, I think.
I'll give you a task. Go back and research on that guy and come back and tell us next week. Because some of these guys, man, they just be spreading hokum. They write books just out of we can see they come out on TV and call themselves sex guru, that guru, and they tell us to abstain and they tell us not to play around. And
you know what?
2 days later, they get caught up and say, hey, you have 7 baby mamas or 7 daddies somewhere. So I need you to do that bit of research and come back, because a lot of people are experts on everything today. I'm not an expert on anything, so I'm learning. Yeah, so
it's healthy to practice that whilst you're in a relationship. However, it can feel awkward talking to your partner about sex or abstinence, but it doesn't have to be. And it can also be very difficult for some people to even initiate that conversation. But I think like the ultimate goal here is that everybody wants to be happy, right? So it's your responsibility to tell your partner what you want, but to also learn what they want to.
That's very true.
Yeah. So,
you know, speaking about that, in terms of like figuring out what your partner wants, I was talking to my cousin about this topic, and he was like, oh, he had one of his boys, my cousin's a guy, and he goes, one of his boys was in a relationship with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend got baptized, and then because of religious reasons, she decided she came back, and she was like, even though they started off the relationship having sex, being intimate with each other, once she got baptized and she became more stronger in her faith, she decided that she was no longer interested in engaging in premarital sex. And he was like, yeah, she wanted to be celibate. And the guy was like, hold up, what do you mean? Like, this wasn't part of our agreement. Like, our relationship, we've had an intimate relationship. We've been physically intimate throughout our relationship. So you've now come and you're telling me this. And he broke up with her. They broke up in the end because of it.
Oh boy.
That's
tough.
So I think it's quite so I don't know. It does happen, and it's interesting because saying that, just my own personal experience. I remember I went on a date with a guy, and at that time I was like, I have no interest in being intimate with anybody. I was celibate, and I told him that, and he was like, yeah, he was like, oh, that's so great that you're on this journey, but I don't want to be a part of that.
I think he was being honest. Yeah, he was very honest.
Being honest anyway.
That was the first and last date.
It's happened to me several times, even before I even lost my virginity. You know, I did date, and I'm like, you know what, I'm not ready for it. I'm not ready for it. And you know, they're like, oh, okay, well, good for you, but I want it, so I'm sorry, I can't date you. You know, and it's fine. So yeah, it's just
I think the reason I pushed earlier about the reason I asked that why people might decide to do that, I think Nana, you've touched on it. Mostly it's about religious sentiment, so to speak, or religious beliefs. I am a grown man. I was already a grown man when I decided to just go do a church blessing, and it was part of the deal that you need to exercise this sort of a restraint, I should call it that, because they know, they said, look, you're grown up, man. We can tell that you've already been having this. You have a child already, but if we're going to do this, you need to abstain. Yes, and it was difficult because at that period in our lives, I think me and my wife just could not keep our hands off each other. We would grab every opportunity like it was going to be our last time on earth. So it was quite difficult, even if it was for a very short time, because I think the difficulty was because it was being imposed from the external. It was an order. If you guys don't do it,
So it wasn't your decision.
with these blessings. Yes. So I think that was my difficulty with that decision. Like, come on, man, because I'm somebody, I don't really like you to impose things on me, especially when it comes to those belief structures and religions and sentiments like that, or traditions. I don't like it. I just like do my whole thing. I like to think things through. But I thought the difficulty for me was that somebody else was imposing this, their own standard, because I wanted to bless my wedding in their church. That was the only difficulty for me, but we went through it. I think we did, because like I said, it was for a very short period. But there are other people who've been through this same period for a long time. And both parties have to be on the same path. They have to be on the same road, traveling on that journey.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not going to work. You know what I mean? Because so that's the main reasons most of us know that people do abstain. But there's another big one. It's because of to avoid diseases, sexually transmitted diseases. Have any of you heard of that?
You can still get that even without having, sexual intercourse. So you can have.
Yeah. They said there's research that you could have it, but abstinence is so broad that there'll be no penetration, there'll be no oral sex, it'll just be kissing. They said they do what they call dry humping as well.
Dry humping, okay. Well,
dry.
I guess.
I don't know what that is, but I haven't.
You don't know what dry humping is.
No.
Dude.
You can't
seriously.
What that is, please.
No.
I don't know what it is.
I
put my hands up. I don't know. No.
Are you actually being serious?
Yeah, I am. I didn't bother reading it.
Okay, so it's basically like you just so you dry hump with clothes on.
You put clothes on.
You have clothes on and you're humping, dude.
Yeah, I've got clothes on right now. Yeah, I've got clothes on right now. Yeah.
Yeah, and then so let's say everything else that you would, I guess, normally do, but with clothes on.
Oh, so I could be on top of a woman, but with my clothes on.
Yeah.
Oh,
so you might be grinding and doing all of that, but you have clothes on. That's what I understand dry humping to be.
That's punishment, though.
No, but dude, I'm not saying go. Dude, I'm not saying go and wear jeans and go and be grinding. That
one. so there's a particular type of trousers you should wear, material like linen.
No, but you want to be comfortable, no?
But what if on that day I wore jeans to our house and I didn't know we were going to dry hump and I break my thing in the process?
But you can have, dude, you don't have boxers on. Come on.
So I could take the trousers off. I could take the trousers off and leave the boxers on.
Yeah, some people do it that way.
Okay. All right.
I think like for people who want to practice abstinence, first of all, like I said before, the first thing is to know what practicing abstinence means to you, right? And I think you should then think about how far you feel comfortable going and then what your sexual limits are. Okay. So like some couples, they could engage in other physical activities like kissing or maybe dirty talk or texting or all of those good stuff and stuff like that. And like I said, it all depends on your personal definition of abstinence. And you just have to be like completely open and honest with your partner about what you're comfortable with, so you can then respect each other's, boundaries. Like there's several studies that basically have suggested that, communication, whether verbal or non-verbal, may be linked to like sexual satisfaction. So like this means that engaging in like little like dirty talk with your partner might be a way to explore intimacy while practicing abstinence.
Would you, if you were a pastor, would you advise young couples planning to get married to do all of that dirty talk and not do the penetration? Would you advise that?
Good thing I'm not a pastor. Good thing I'm not a pastor, but I don't know. Me, if I'm practicing abstinence with a man I want to marry, okay, I'm sure as hell gonna kiss you. We're gonna kiss because first, I don't want no sloppy kisser. Okay. I don't want to find out after we're married that you're those ones that when I kiss you, I feel like I've drank like 50 gallons of spit. Okay.
Oh boy.
I need to know that you're not.
Sorry, this is hilarious.
I need to know that down there there's you endowed. So I don't want no surprise today, like
knowing down there you're endowed. That's that abstinence though.
No, but she said she's not having sex with him.
I need to assess the goods. I need to know that.
I thought abstinence, complete abstinence would be we ain't seeing each other's body, man. Come on. I've been there. I wear your jeans. I wear my jeans.
What it means to me, though, like I need to know what the hell you have down there.
This is Sandra's definition. This is Sandra's abstinence.
Okay. Just knowing what they have down there, it don't tell you whether that thing will work proper.
When we get to that bridge,
so you'll break your heart when you finally get married.
Okay, what about people who don't even have sex? They don't even see their partners naked until on their wedding night, and then they're about to have sex.
You were privileged to know this information. How?
And then you now see that your partner has micro dick.
How did you know this? People told you this? It was a testimony?
What are you gonna do? Is my question.
No, but how did you know this was true? People tell stories. We waited until we got married and everything was black. Could have been lies.
No, it's not lies. They are true stories.
Were you there on the night?
They are true stories.
Okay, so of course there are people that might, just to save face, will say that that they've abstained from sex before marriage, but in fact they haven't done so. But I don't want to think that everybody that claims that they've abstained before marriage is lying, because I'm sure there's some people that have actually abstained from it.
But practice
I'm sure a lot of them do practice other acts. That's for sure. They kiss, they dry hump, and they do other things. Yeah, they might have just not had penetrative vaginal sex.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I say that because because I went to an all girls quite like an all girls secondary school, and it was we had quite because of where I live, quite a huge community of Southeast Asians, and like when you talk to them, some of them will do things as in they would do it because they're preserving their virginity. They would do other acts, so they will engage in other acts, but they will preserve their vaginal. So they might have they'll engage in oral sex or have anal, but they wouldn't engage in penetrative vaginal sex. So for them that was abstinence. I guess they were probably trying to beat the system too. You want to police my sexuality and police my sexuality and my virginity. Well, here you are. I'm gonna find other ways to to please myself.
Yeah, I think from time immemorial, when humans started setting up barriers and boundaries for themselves, we've always look for loopholes on how to breach those barriers anyway. So it's human.
So there are people that do that. And there are also some people that like Sandra pointed out earlier. I know there's this, is it called, I think there's like this condition whereby some women, like they tighten up. So sex isn't, vaginal penetrated sex isn't pleasurable.
Yeah.
I forgot the name of the condition. So they find.
So there's a name for it. There's a name.
There is a name for it. I forgot what it's called. There's a name.
So this is a natural occurrence?
Yeah.
It's not something. It's not like they've gone to do plastic surgery or any type of.
No.
Okay.
People literally.
I think it's called vaginismus or something like that. It's like the body has an automatic reaction of fear of vaginal penetration. So whenever penetration is attempted, that the vaginal muscles tighten up on their own.
And there's so many other things, like some women, like for me, like once I have that sort of sexual intercourse with someone, it fucks up my entire body, my system, my everything. Like I don't know how to explain And for some weird reason, like just things don't really go well for me. Like, so I just abstain from it, to be honest. I don't know why that is. But
Okay,
like
I see. So it's kind of linked to spirituality, right?
Yeah, so it just messes up with a lot of things in my life. Like it's either just something goes wrong or I don't know.
Okay.
So it's just I'm
Do you know what? I was about to say something. Alessandra, why are you sleeping with wizards? I don't understand.
She must have a husband somewhere on the sea.
Because
a seahorse somewhere.
I just want to be, I just want to keep this clean, this
okay, I get it. I'm with
I
you.
applaud that. I applaud that.
I don't want anyone to, interrupt or whatever.
I applaud that. I think I'm not going to use the language in this day and age because some people say the good old days. I don't believe in all of things. I think just as we are now, things have always been this way because there's nothing new under the face of the earth or under the sun. It's just that means of people finding information these days is more swifter, more faster than our parents and our grandparents and our great-grandparents' time. There was promiscuity at that time. There's promiscuity now. I don't think anyone is worse than anyone. It's just that we have Instagram now. If you do something out there, they can paste your pictures everywhere. Things that you would do and hide and seek then. People don't hear about it for a long time, but now you get it pasted everywhere. So I don't want to think that times are different from before. But having said that, I think it's applaudable if a woman or a man, I know we just be talking as if it's all about women. Sex is not just about women, it's about the men too. It's applaudable if a woman or a man,
of course,
wants to really keep themselves whole.
Yeah.
And just say, you know what? This is my body. For one reason or the other, like Sandra rightly said, if I do this stuff, things just go the wrong way for me. It messes up my whole psyche, my whole biology. I just want to be away from these things. A guy can do that too. I know guys can do that too.
I have a friend who literally told me like Sandra, I can't, like he hasn't had sex in years because he found out that each time he has sex with a woman, like everything goes bad for him. It's either he loses his job or his business.
Oh wow.
Something. So I think it's linked to spirituality. So some people just abstain from it, So and me, same thing. I realized that each time I do this, there's just automatic disconnect.
Okay, yeah.
And
I do get where you're coming from, though.
I'm restless. I set a goal or target to meet, and I don't accomplish that.
Is it possible that maybe the sex you had was just too amazing that you just become confused?
She was dickmatized.
That's what I'm saying. That's the language. That's the language.
Sandra, were you dickmatized?
Yeah.
Yes, maybe I was, and what I'm thinking about is dick. No, so I don't want that. So I'm like,
it could be. It could be.
Good thing comes with a lot of complications like wahala,
emotions and all of that. It could just be plain physical instead of we going spiritual. It could just be that you became confused. You couldn't concentrate because every time you hold a pen, you're thinking you're holding the guy's pen. Anyway, like you hold your remote control. You want to watch your favorite sitcom, and you're like, oh. And you forget about the sitcom. Yeah, so it's probably not spiritual, Sandra. Please go back and think about the times it happened to you and come back and tell us whether it was spiritual or it was just plain physical.
Wow.
So anyway, not to take anything from that. Abstinence is different. One of the, I did a very brief research on it. Major one is because of health reasons. And I think Nana touched on it. Certain, I'm not an expert in this sense. It's just hearsay. Certain people in society have this how do I call it, barriers and boundaries set upon them, and they're finding ways to beat it. And we've been told also that probably vagina and that type penetration is where you normally get STDs transferred. So we then forget about one you get with your mouth when you do oral sex. We forget about the anal one. We forget about all the ones that
the other ones.
So even the bodily fluid with regards to Hep B. People forget that. They mostly think it's penetration. And they've said, you know what, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to keep myself hale and healthy, free from diseases. I'll enjoy the other bits. But unfortunately, it's not the same. Maybe they've just been lucky they've not caught any STDs. So there are reasons, especially with younger generation.
There's another reasons, like people don't have, like maybe people that don't have access to like other form of birth control. That could be like some sort of
that's actually that's
a
true.
major one. Yeah,
control for them. So
yeah,
I think that's common with married couples, because I know we've done that in our family. Me and my wife, yeah. When we had, I don't know. Tell me, your women know when the body is so fertile that anything could happen.
Oh, yeah, she's ovulating.
Okay, yeah. So she would say,
yeah,
anything, man, you're gonna have a baby like 3 months
yeah,
after
that's right. Yeah, so, yeah. When she's ovulating, so she's fertile.
It was difficult because, you know, with me as a man, you just think about it, and your how do you call it? Your John Thomas just becomes so hard, and you don't care. You forgot that your wife's just been out of maternity ward 17 hours ago, and you want to hump on her again, like, you know what I mean?
17 hours after she's had a baby.
Yeah, I'm just giving an example. I didn't say it happened that way.
Madness.
Come on. Why did you pick me on that, Nana?
I know, because I'm thinking what?
No, I'm just saying men can be crazy. Just asking for it immediately. It could be crazy. It could be
finished healing.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be surprised.
Come and dry hump in my armpits. Come and dry hump in my armpits.
I don't think at that time the woman want to do anything. You know, if you've observed childbirth, you even don't want to put your wife through that anymore. Trust me. But like I said, because our memories are quite short, you walk out of that maternity ward, you've forgotten about that. You're celebrating now. You want to even go back to it all over again. So for that reasons, to avoid unwanted pregnancies, I will use the word unwanted, because you try to say you're planning your life, especially in this part of the world where you've got certain months in maternity leave and you've got to go back to work. You don't get your 100% salary paid to you. So you plan your life in some certain ways. People then do that. Say, no, we need to stay away. We can do all this stuff and just stay away from this one. It's not to prevent anyone having STDs. It's just to prevent that pregnancy coming again, and then you're then out of job and you're struggling to pay your bills. You know, so this is London we're talking about, especially London. So within couples, it does happen very often, this abstinence practice. But with the young ones, people who haven't married, what we're hearing is, okay, I'm preventing STDs. I don't want my family to know that I've had sex, because they actually did say that it's a form of intrusive investigation they carry out on them prior to them getting married.
Really?
Yeah, to check if they've had sex via penetration through the vagina. Yeah, so
like in those communities, I do understand why, like, they, like, because let's be for real, the only people that are being policed in these communities are women. They don't police the men in the same way. Yeah. So I do understand why the women find other ways to get their sexual needs met, just to and still preserve the so-called virginity. So I mean, I don't blame them. I can't imagine somebody come and do what is it called? Come and check if I preserved them. And do you know what? But do you know what's so funny? That's probably why hymen replacement surgeries are such a thing.
Yeah, you're getting closer. That's what we've heard from GPs as well.
because I was actually thinking about it, whereby that's the thing now, where people are going in to get their hymen replaced, so that on their wedding night they can bleed, so that whoever they're getting married to thinks that they're a virgin. But because I mean, even though having a hymen or not isn't a sign of virginity, because some people, you can break your hymen from horse riding, from exercising.
Horses, like when you ride, you break it in so many ways. So the fact.
But I don't think a lot of people know that, though.
Even from doing extraneous exercises, I
don't think a lot of people have this information. If they do, they won't be worried about it.
Yeah, so like your hymen being intact or not really isn't a sign of virginity. And anyway, I hate the virginity topic, because virginity is once again a social construct. I honestly just hate it. Like, do whatever you want.
Don't
Don't allow anybody to police what goes in and out of your body. That's literally nobody's business.
I think abstinence in itself is virginity again, because when you abstain,
Oh, okay, because like, do you think so? When you abstain,
yeah. Even if you've had sex from before ages and you then abstain, in the real sense of the word, you become a virgin again. It's fact.
No, not necessarily, but
because we've been conditioned to think that it's only when one bleeds, that's when she was or is a virgin. It's not the case. If you abstain, it's a whole new beginning. It's fact.
Virgin is someone who hasn't been touched by a man ever.
That's who gave you that definition. Where did that definition come from? That's the question you should ask. Where did that definition come from? That's the question. You see?
Yeah.
So we've been talking about, it's mainly about penetration. And Sandra, you talk about filling the package. You know?
Sandra wants to fill the package, even though I already told her.
I told Sandra. I want to.
Oh, you want to see, not feel.
Oh, you don't even. Oh, you actually want to see. Yeah, she wants to know. She wants to know what she's working with. But I told her
micro dick. Okay.
She said she doesn't. I told her that it's not in the size. Okay, she doesn't want micro penis, micro dick.
Okay.
But I told her that it's not in the size. It's in the motion. You know?
Excuse me, Auntie. For people like me that have big ass, okay, don't come with that. Where is it going to enter? Where?
Nah, but babe, come on now.
I hope we don't have 12-year-olds on this show.
Well, I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. Like, it's no. I mean,
he can have a big penis and he doesn't know what to do with it. What happens then?
Sorry, he would know. We will figure it out.
What happens if it's big
she will
and he doesn't have the notion?
Out. Okay, we'll figure it out. Well, I don't want no small thing, and then I'm now thinking, yo, how is this even gonna pass my ass? Like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? I mean, no offense.
He can, but sex in itself like encompasses like so many different things. You can do other things. Like we've just had this whole penetration. No, it's not. That's not the end and the last.
Listen, I have my need list and my want list. Okay.
Okay. So big penis. Where does that one fall into?
No, I did not say big. I don't want you to have some anaconda. No, I don't want that. I'm just saying normal regular size. Like
what's that in inches?
I don't know, but see, Shebi can see anything slightly bigger than this is all right. Slightly bigger.
What brand of remote control is that? So I know. So I know how to measure when I go out. Tell me, please. Is that Sony or Sony? Is that Samsung?
Yeah, that's Samsung. Yeah, so you can see slightly bigger than this. You know, like you know, slightly. Like I said, I'm not a sex freak anyway. I'm not a sex freak, but when I want it, I want to know that it's there and I can get it. Not that when I want it and then I'm not trying to figure out, okay, how are we gonna do it now?
I think you've just sparkled something in my head. Some discussions I heard somewhere not too long ago. So makes me think abstinence can be part of a deceptive tool that married couples or people in sexual relationship use as well. So I'm in love with this person. I'm no longer enjoying sex with them because of some of the things that Sandra said. And I'll say, you know what, let's abstain from it because I want to do this, I want to do that. I bring all the stories but because I'm seeing somebody else who satisfies me very well, but I'm practicing abstinence at home.
That's very
abstinence. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It could be used as a deceptive tool as well.
Oh yeah. But you know what it is, right? This is the thing with abstinence, especially when you're in a relationship. When you're in a relationship and one party decides to go on an abstinence journey by themselves, I don't think, honestly, I can't fault the other party if they decide to get their needs met somewhere else. Because I can't impose my abstinence journey on you. Especially when before we got into this relationship, this wasn't a conversation that we had and that wasn't an agreement. So I understand why. I mean, it's a bit selfish, but you know, I can understand. But I just think you have to be like, you cannot make, but some people don't like being honest. Somebody says, I want to do abstinence. You know, you can't do. just tell them babe,
Yeah.
now for this your abstinence journey,
They
you
think
can
they want to
abstain.
change you. They think
Yeah,
they can change you.
yeah, like you can abstain, I'll stay, but you know, I'm gonna get my needs met elsewhere, and that's okay. But they'll be like, oh, okay, the men says she wants to do abstinence. And a lot of people do it also to save face. You know, a lot of, honestly, I'm going to come for all this Christian boys. They'll be like, yeah, let's do abstinence journey. Not knowing that the flesh is weak. You understand? You know you can't do abstinence journey. They will literally lie to the other party that they're doing abstinence journey. And then they'll be running amok in the streets.
Thank you. That is so true. That is so true.
It's honestly just this is why I always tell people, like, especially when it comes to religion, it's a personal decision. So like navigate it how you want to. The flesh is weak. We understand. Like we trip up, we fall. It's not
you see, since the flesh is weak, it's something imposed on us by the external. The other one, the religious aspect of it is weak.
Oh, the religious aspect.
Is it not the case that it is inherent in humans to have this sexual relations? But when we then impose external restraint on it, you then have to find ways to dig around them. That's where we have this difficulty. That's where we have this not being honest comes from. Because if my father was a pastor and I was the choir master, like the all pastors do, the wife is the pastor Mrs. and the son is the choir leader, and we got these nice chicks all coming in short skirts or pencil skirts, and I'm doing what I'm doing with them, and we're doing it behind. We'll always be dishonest about what we do, because from the external, we're not meant to be doing that. They're saying the flesh is weak, you've committed sin, something that we were meant to enjoy as part of our being is being condemned already by people. So that's why we will always be dishonest. I don't think I'll be honest about that.
Do you know what? Yeah, I think it's the hypocrisy of it all. That's what I don't like.
Yeah.
It's a hypocrisy. So by all means, right? Like I said, understand that you're human beings. We have sexual needs that need to be met. Let's be honest let's be honest about this, and let's not be self-righteous. And that's I feel like that's what gets me, because a lot of times I see this, and also I don't like the way that it's enforced. So when it's perhaps like the Christian boys who are doing whatever they're doing, we kind of understand that, oh, you know, this is, you know, men, sexual needs. But I don't, the women on the other hand, or the girls, they don't get extended that same grace.
No, they don't.
And it's sad. And I see it all the time, whereby it's like, okay, let's just say two young people in the church, somebody they get pregnant, or like the girl gets pregnant, and it's like, in some churches they ostracize the pregnant girl, but then the guy is still okay, and it's okay to do whatever is expected of him. But as the female, because you're the one that's carrying, even though it's both of you that have quote unquote committed the sin, only one party is bearing the shame, and I don't like that. So for me, I just want to get to a point where it's like, okay, this happens, we're humans, we're at the end of the day, we're animals, we have the sexual need. And when it happens, and we just need to leave it at that. And nobody needs to make you feel any bad, or nobody needs to make you feel bad. Nobody's going to condemn you, because at the end of the day, the people that are condemning you, they're also doing the same thing. Which is what blows my mind.
Yes.
Just a whole bunch of hypocrites. It's just hypocrisy.
I know it is what it is. You're right. You're absolutely right. That's why I said earlier that it appears as if we're talking about this from the side of a woman, when we should be talking about it broadly, man and woman. And we're not, you just spoke about the Christian boys. Let's go to the Catholic boys. These guys practice abstinence from Apostle Paul's doctrine. And because of what they do is against the biological needs, they fight against this. That's why we have a lot of what we've had in the Catholic Church with regards to pedophilia and abuse of minors and all of that. And it's not just that now. In countries where women have very, very tiny voice, they can't be heard, they should not be heard. We've had priests, Catholic priests, impregnating loads of women. They practice abstinence in front of, they preach it in front of the audience and the congregation, get more boys to join, and they do this. I have a friend then, he was from the eastern part of Nigeria. You know, the Catholic guys are from that part heavily. He went to, now I know, he went to one of those seminary schools. And the reason most fathers or parents sent their boys to those schools was because you're going to get the best of the best education. Not because they love God or love Apostle Paul, because they were the best schools in Nigeria. You came out of one of those seminary schools, man, you were top flying. This my friend would come, he would look holy as thou, wearing white and white. We respected him. My cousin came from another state to visit us one time, and this guy just went on his knees. The flesh took over, like, so to speak, and he never went back to seminary. So it was big trouble. It was big trouble because the father and the mother actually came and they caused big palaver for me. So they said I led their son astray.
You led him astray.
Like he doesn't have a mind of his own.
Yeah, it wasn't my fault that he came to my house and saw my a very beautiful cousin, and it went straight into flesh, as they speak. So you see what I'm saying? So most of the times, why they do this is for different reasons. It's a forced kind of practice on them.
A forced practice,
so that is fighting against what they should be actually exhibiting, experiencing. So there's that conflict, there's that disconnect. That's why we have a lot of these things that they've done out there. So for some people, like Sandra said, you come to the knowledge and say, hey, this is what it is. I don't enjoy it. And I've heard couples say that. And as a result of that also, the woman is always the one who don't enjoy it because of whatever's happening to her, like the way Nana explained it. And the man would just bounce and start enjoying it outside. But meanwhile, indoors, they practice in abstinence. So that's why I said earlier, it could be used as a deceptive tool as well. And it's something foreign to us. It's imposed from their standard. That's why you see every so-called dishonesty everywhere. It's what it is.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, like you said, boys will be boys. I don't like that. I think it should be same punishment. If you want to punish anyone, same punishment.
Yeah, exactly. The same punishment should be meted out to both. And this is basically what I'm always advocating for. Let's have the same sort of repercussions.
I'll tell you something.
Then I don't even want to be in church, because that means that God is sexist. Because if God is only going to punish one sex for committing sins, then God is a sexist God, and I have no interest in serving a sexist God.
It's a shame that they painted God that way. I think the man or the woman in the front of the church, the one standing in front of the pulpit, are the ones who should be holding responsible. They're the ones that I do hold responsible. I don't hold no God responsible. I don't need anybody to talk to me about God. I was going to quickly say, this is kind of off topic, but it relates to, again, the power structure in all of these discussions we're having, because these are all discussions relating to sexual relations. I don't know if you know, recently, one of the MPs, conservative MPs, said they were at their party conference years ago, when she was a candidate for to become an MP, and our current Prime Minister, the father, Stanley Johnson, was a candidate at the time as well, although he subsequently lost that election and went to become MEP in Europe. She said he kind of sexually touched her behind.
Oh yes, I heard about that. Yeah,
a couple of days ago. But guess what? Fine story. Now Stanley Johnson said, I don't even know who that is. Well enough. It could have been both of you had a couple of white wines and you forgot the faces. But guess what? The press, they've not turned around and they're digging into this woman's sexual history. I'm like, wow, men cannot just rest, because that's going to give me bad name on the street. I'm like, I read it this week. I was like, what is this? Let her be. She said this happened, believe her and move on. And let's deal with Stanley Johnson. Now they've gone to start digging about her.
Because of what she's wearing, that's why.
But that's not even valid. Because if I've been sexually assaulted, why is it that it's really weird that when a woman comes out to say that she's been sexually assaulted, instinctively, right? What people turn to and what they want to find out is, is this person worthy enough? So basically, so if she's promiscuous, what then? If you're promiscuous, what, you can't be sexually assaulted? If we dig into her personal past, I don't get it. So is it only respectable women that can be sexually assaulted? I don't get it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they want you to put in a box. So that's the whole thing we're talking about. So the whole abstinence discussion can end up just being a detrimental to women as well. Because
definitely.
For all the valid reasons you've given, for all the the vaginal contraction during pregnancy, they just come out of having a baby, or they just want to preserve their body, they're afraid of STDs. It's all detrimental to them. The man will get up and bounce, and you just want to put it anywhere. So you see what I mean? So you could be practicing abstinence at home, and you'll be outside just giving it free for all.
Okay.
So the woman is always going to be at the
in the
receiving end.
streets.
Yeah.
Flinging.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, though, abstinence from anything, from food, from drink, from alcohol, it's great for the body.
It is.
It's great for the body. I believe sex. I believe sex too is great for the body, because I'm not a sex freak that have it every day to then know I've not had it for 6 months. It's great for the body. I don't know. Maybe there are people who have it every day. I need to hear from them if they've now stayed away for 6 months, what it did to their body. Whether they had muscle atrophy down there, I don't know. I want to believe it's all muscles down there. So if you don't use your muscles properly, they start falling apart. They become saggy. So we have to mind the sizes, as Sandra said. You don't want to have this thing sagging, and Sandra will be the reason for that. And they'll be like, you caused it. You didn't let me exercise my muscles down there. So
I think all I can say is, anyone is allowed to choose abstinence at any given time for any reason.
Yeah.
You don't have to have sex to be part of a loving and intimate relationship. Like, I think the most important thing is that you are doing what makes you comfortable. So, and regardless of your reason for practicing it, I think abstinence can actually be like a fun way to try new things. Like just exploring different pleasures just can help you figure out what your sexuality means for you. So
I think you're valid. Just going back to that author you were trying to sell his books. I don't know if it's related to you in any way.
Sell his books. I just read, Joe.
I wasn't trying to disparage anything.
Where I come from, whenever you have to reference what you read.
I know. What he said is right. It's right in the sense that when you abstain from that, because if a relationship is just based on penetration, there's nothing to it. But if you abstain, it gives you opportunities to really explore. And I tell you the truth, you start seeing things differently. You really start seeing things different. Oh my gosh, I didn't know this, because you were only focused on you have clarity.
And you get to know that the person actually loves you for you, not because of like your ass or you're a good kisser, or they actually see beyond that. Do you understand? So it's.
I hope they do, because it's something that draws them in the first place. No.
I mean,
yeah,
it's what draws them in. But other things should then interest them. Because
that's when they're in already.
Yeah, but still, already. When they're in already, but it can't just be based on the physical, because what happened now when your breast starts sagging and because it happens.
But a lot of I don't want to say a lot, because I'm not an expert, but I think as humans though, the physical is what attracts you first.
Okay, yeah.
You've got to like the physical.
No.
Say, wow, I like that woman. I like that guy. I really want to get to know her. And you then start running around finding people who could do the introduction and stuff. Yeah.
But people place different values. So for some people, the physical aspect is the most important thing. But for me, for instance, like I don't think like the physical attribute not the highest on my priority list.
Bonus.
It's a bonus. But I have friends that for them it's like, he has to be. I have to be physically. That's her number one, and that's also okay. That is okay.
Like I'm more interested in the the exterior part. No, it's exterior. So the interior part of you.
The interior,
So, but obviously, you've got to represent. I'm not saying you have to be like gorgeous looking, but you just have to be representable. So and then it's more like your values, what your values are. If you're a kind person, there's certain attributes that I look for in a man, and those things are what actually attracts me to that person. And then if you're
actually, I think it's a good way to kind of come a full circle to start to wrap the whole discussion up. You've just everything as you were talking, I thought you can only see that when you really practice that abstinence, because it will clear your mind. It'll give you clarity. Yeah.
Okay.
So that's when you're starting a relationship. When you're starting off new, if the priority was sex, I don't think you would see all of that. That if the priority for me was, wow, I like the way she looks, man, the way she looks in that jeans, and the priority for me was just sex, 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 I don't think I would see the other qualities that Sandra was trying to explain. But if we then know that we're going on this journey, then you have the opportunity to explore. If the focus is not on sex, then you explore. You start saying, wow, this person is quite funny. She can make some funny jokes. Oh, this person is like that. Oh, this person is this. That person is that. Yeah, you start seeing all of those other stuff. If the priority was sex, man, no one cares about whether you have anything upstairs. You're right.
Yeah.
So I guess in a nutshell, abstinence just work for people for different reasons. Could be health reasons. Yeah, it could be for practicing. Well, it could be religious beliefs. It could be practicing family control, birth control. You call it?
Yeah, birth control.
Birth control. Yeah. So it could be, and it could be like just, especially for our daughters there, those of us who have daughters and young girls out there, it's just good thing that they know too that they could keep themselves. That the body belongs to them. It doesn't belong to the guy. No matter how the guy is drooling, like Sandra said, the guy with a big saliva, whatever. It's your body. It's your body. That's fact. It is your body. Because I'll tell you too, it's not just women who feel they've been used. I think sometime in my life, once or twice or three times, I felt after having sexual relations with somebody, I felt, boy, I felt like I was used like a prostitute.
How does it feel? Like it's really hard to believe that men actually feel.
No, men hate being. Do you know what I found out about men? Men really hate it. Like they loathe it when they know that you're literally just with them for sex. They don't like it. But I don't understand why. Because when they're the ones doing it, it's okay. But when you now flip it around and I say, okay, shall we go to the park? Let's do it. And literally that was them. And they're like, what? Wait, that's what you want to do?
It's fact. It happens.
It's strange.
I've made someone feel that way before.
I'll tell you something that happened, and we'll wrap up. This is not on the abstinence. I think not long ago when we had sun, because I always go out to run for my lunchtime, and I go out again to walk in the evening, and I have these shorts that I bought from Decathlon. I really like this one. They're very short because they show you my big thighs. I've got some muscles in my thighs, so I like it when I wear them.
Wow, so good.
I wear those very short shorts, and I wear my long white socks and my trainers, and I look gorgeous. And this day, I was walking in my park, and these ladies, there were like four of them. Two was quite elderly. You know, I've got gray beard, so probably they thought I'm an elderly person as well. And I was walking towards them. They turned all of a sudden. I noticed immediately that they were talking about me. And one of them said, "Woo, look, I almost dropped on my knees. I was like, what an embarrassment. I just turned. I took a detour. When I left them, I said, that's what we do to women.
Exactly. It's not nice, is it?
I felt so shy. I was like, wow. I felt so shy and so little. And I left, I was like, wow, that's what we do. That's how women feel when they walk past, like four guys sat on a bench. That's what they were sat on the bench. I felt so small, and I didn't continue my journey. I just took a detour. I did. And this was me living the house thinking, oh boy, I love my lovely legs. And my wife sometimes said, you've got nice legs. That's why they're looking. I'm like, seriously? I don't like it. So
they're like, looking at you, that means you have legs.
It's what guys do to women. I didn't like it at all. So I understand.
Very uncomfortable. It can be very when someone occupies you and stuff, it can feel very uncomfortable.
Anyway, viewers at home, we've come to the end, and we've been talking about abstinence. Look, abstinence is your own thing. Your body is your body. If it comes from the external, like we've said, there'll be conflicts because your body rejects. It's like you taking any medication you're allergic to. Your body's going to fight, and there'll be reaction either outside of your skin, especially for those people who have medication allergy. You understand how it works. That's the same thing. It is your body. You want to express your sexual relations the way you want to do it. But when it is imposed from the outside, you do have that conflict. Then you need to find out or ways that you will be able to manage those conflicts. I'm not saying go find the loopholes. No. So none of us here are experts on these subjects. We're just here talking about our own personal experiences and stories that we've heard from our friends and our family members, what they've told us. So viewers at home, thank you for joining us. And this is us. Please subscribe on YouTube, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and listen to the podcast on a daily basis on Spotify. And it's been nice for you to have come with us on this journey. And from myself, Sandra, and then I will say good night.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.